YouTube, Bed Bath & Bongs here. Thank you for joining me. As you can tell, I have had my studio switched up a little bit. It's a little more roomy. I like it, so take a little getting used to, but the studio is really coming together. I have a little more lighting. I do plan on upgrading, but I'm getting there. Thank you for all the new subscribers. I'm going to be making a video soon, giving a shout out to all of you folks. Thank you again so much. It's inspiring to see that my video is growing a little bit. And it's awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate every view. And any ideas for any videos, definitely leave them in the comments. And I'll do them. I mean, within reason. Of course. But yeah, I wanted to talk to you guys, give you some commentary, some Bong Commentary. Some bomb commentary. Congress finally reached a deal on the COVID relief in the stimulus bill. To be honest with you, not a great deal. I'm not impressed with it. $600 for every American. That won't cover rent. I mean, it'll help a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I'm not somebody who was absolutely in the hole in the first place. Me and my wife both work full-time jobs and we get paid pretty decently, and I mean, we do okay, not to brag. We're definitely still like in the middle class to lower middle class bracket, but we're not going to be kicked out on the street, is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, $600, come on. And then, I mean, the unemployment benefits, that's all well and good. But what they traded for it, what the Democrats traded for the added time on the unemployment benefits is just retarded. Basically, the way that it's set up is they are, in fact, going to extend the unemployment check until April. But they're not going to allow you to start any new unemployment claims after March 14th. Meaning there's going to be they're going to gradually kick people off. That way Congress doesn't feel under pressure to act to make sure these people don't get kicked off unemployment all at the same time. So it's basically a weaselly little Republican trick to end unemployment benefits without getting too much hoorah about it. Pisses me off, makes me want to make it so they don't get paid any of the money that they get from the government for the so-called job that they were elected to do. And then on top of that, a lot of these cities who have lost a lot of tax funding because of the fact that they had to close their businesses down for a long time. They haven't been collecting any taxes to pay for any of these public services that are in dire need, because everyone who's getting sick and everyone who is getting harder to feed ourselves, to be quite honest. You know, if you thought the riots were bad during the BLM protests, wait until local governments start failing because they don't have any money to pay the police officers. And then you're just going to have fucking bedlam in the streets. It's going to be ridiculous. Biden is going to inherit such a shit fest. I don't think, like, a good left-wing president would necessarily be successful in helping us out of this hole, let alone a corporate Democrat like Biden. I'm sorry, a Republican light like Biden. I am not hopeful. So yeah, they extended unemployment a little bit. We get our $600 checks per person. I hope it's per person. I hope parents at least get a little bit for their children. Ro Khanna made some comments. He pushed Pelosi to take the $1.8 trillion deal with the White House, which is about $900 billion more than the current $900 billion deal, just before the election. So keep in mind, Trump had offered a much better bill to the Democrats before the election, and Nancy Pelosi didn't want to agree. And now we have this shit bill that they finally came to an agreement on. Even Trump thinks that every person should get $2,000. That's way more reasonable than this. That's I mean that's I think you could go even a little higher than that, but I mean that's much better than this. And that's coming from a so-called conservative like Trump. Steve Mnuchin was willing to cut these checks out if Pelosi just stuffed her pride. She thought that if she signed on to a better bill before the election, it would make Trump look good, and maybe Biden wouldn't have won. I don't think that would have happened. That shouldn't matter anyways, because there's certain things that that are more important than political ambitions, and that's us. We hired you. We hired you. We fucking put you in that house. Do your job, or we're gonna throw you out of your house. That means you, Pelosi. How is someone who is unanimously hated by everyone still getting elected over and over again? Nancy Pelosi, Harry Reid when he was still in public office. All these Democrats who just keep getting elected, and they're like evil fucking lizard people. I'm gonna go full Alex Jones on you. They're lizard people. They don't have human feelings like us. I mean, they obviously don't, because they're thinking of this bullshit instead of helping us when we're literally dying in the street without health care. So yeah, Ro Khanna made sure to mention that when he voted against this deal. And Bernie Sanders, who partnered with conservative Senator Josh Hawley to lobby for the inclusion of stimulus checks, said the compromise was insufficient. So I think Bernie Sanders may have voted for this. Which, I mean, they did have to get something out because people were ready to fillet them. I'm still pretty ready. You know, these politicians, it's just slimy. Just slimy. I don't care where you are on the political spectrum. If you have a government that is raising all of these funds through taxes, and they close down all of the businesses, and people are losing their jobs left and right, and they're unable to leave their homes, they're unable to work because of the fear of disease, how are they supposed to feed themselves? How? You need a universal UBI. You need to house people. We have more houses than people that are sitting empty. There's more homeless people. There's more empty homes out there on the market than there is homeless people in this country. You could give them all a home, and there'd still be plenty of homes to sell. Do you know who has a super high home ownership rate? Cuba. Because they've had a program for a long time where you couldn't even buy and sell houses. It was a government mandated thing where they would issue people houses. I'm not sure if I fully agree with that, but I do feel like you need to make sure everyone is housed, or at least give them the opportunity to be housed. Another thing I wanted to talk to everyone about is the Moderna vaccine that just got approved for emergency use. So now we have the Pfizer vaccine and the Moderna vaccine. And beyond that, apparently the government is going to great lengths to try and get the vaccine out to as many minorities, black and brown people, as much as possible, which is hard because black people do not trust the medical community. And looking at these numbers, they do not want to take the vaccine. At least a lot of black people do not trust the medical community, and they do not trust the government or this vaccine. And it makes a lot of sense. I don't know if I would. A lot of you may know about the Tuskegee experiments where they infected black people with syphilis on purpose. Didn't tell them so they could watch them and study them. Never tried to cure it, never tried to treat them, just did little experiments here and there, and they all fucking died of syphilis. Horribly. Horribly. Syphilis makes you insane. It makes you, like, gross shit on your body. It's like a really gross fucking disease to die from, and they did it to thousands of black people. I don't know if it was thousands. I might be exaggerating. I think it may have been like 400. Let me look at the numbers. I'm getting a little excited here. 400 black men. That's still a lot for an illegal thing where you get. It's so evil. It's comic book evil, and we've been doing this shit for years and years. That's not even the only example. I could bring up several different examples. And honestly, it's the kind of thing where, like, I have to think twice about vaccines. I mean, I'm generally pro-vaccine, but with this particular vaccine, I have my doubts. I have some second thoughts. A lot of the medical community is backing it. They're saying that it's safe. U.S. Surgeon General acknowledges the fear in the black community, but he's saying that they should take it and they have to rebuild the trust, which you definitely fucking do. That's understatement. It's just it's a very hard issue. I don't know. I'm still kind of on the fence. I just think everyone out there do a risk benefit analysis, and if you feel like your health is more at risk of not taking the vaccine, I'll leave it up to you. Generally, I urge people to take vaccines because it protects you and it protects all of us. Um, I just need more info. I think I'd be okay. I've never had a reaction from any shots I've ever had. A pretty tough cookie. But some people aren't. Maybe some people will take the vaccine and they'll die. I don't want to tell people to take it and then they die. What if you don't take the vaccine and you get COVID and then you die horribly? So, be safe, people. Look out for yourself. Look out for others. I think for the elderly and people in nursing homes who have a really high risk of catching COVID and dying, maybe the vaccine should be given to them. Frontline workers, we don't want them dying because they're our first line of defense. Obviously, give them the vaccine. I'm a little put off with Trump's cronies and these people not, high up getting the vaccine. Fuck you guys. If you guys get it, you can live. You're fine, you rich assholes. But yeah, and I do have a video that I'm working on. It's based on this sort of terrible comedic movie on Amazon Prime called Obamaland. So keep an eye out for that. It should be rather entertaining. Some a little less serious for once. Do a little movie review. But thank you for joining me tonight for this Bong commentary. It might not be as long as as some of them have in the past, but kind of tired, and I do have other things to work on. There's going to be plenty of things in the news tomorrow when I wake up, I'm sure. So thank you all for joining me. I'm going to go and take a dab to say adieu.